Hi, good morning dear students. Myself Vinish, your physics teacher. I am directly going to the chapter. Just look at the screen. You can see some letters A, K, S, M, K, G, C, D, more. I hope that you all are familiar with this. What are these? These are the units of some quantities. So, I am going to take the chapter Units and Measurement. That's your second chapter. So, the chapter is Units and Measurements. Okay, we can discuss it. First, we are going to discuss about some quantities. That are the physical quantities. What do you understand physical quantities? The quantities that can be measured are called physical quantities. Length we can measure, mass we can measure, weight we can measure. That all are the quantities. Such quantities are called physical quantities because it is measurable one. The quantities which can be measured are called the physical quantities. That look at here. All those quantities which can be measured directly or indirectly and in terms of which the laws of physics can be expressed are called physical quantities. That is the definition just. Or just you can write that the quantities which can be measured directly or indirectly are also called the physical quantities. Okay. So, examples. I already told length is an example. Mass is also an example. Temperature is also an example. Speed, force, electric current, etc. Happiness. It's a quantity. Is it measurable? That's our life related one. Happiness. Sorrow. Is it measurable? No. Such quantities are not measurable, so that are not considered to be a physical quantities. Means on the other hand, the various happenings in life, happiness, sorrow, etc. are not physical quantities because this cannot be measured. So the quantities which is going to be measured, or we can measure some quantities, such quantities are called physical quantities. Okay, so the measurable quantities are called physical quantities. Then quantities also classified into two types, that are fundamental quantities and derived quantities. What is a fundamental quantities? Fundamental means basic. You can say that it's basic one. Okay, means we cannot derive a quantity from any other quantities. Is it possible to derive length from any other quantities? Is it possible to derive mass from any other quantities? No, it is not possible. Such quantities are called fundamental quantities. Okay, if speed, you can derive it from distance and time. The definition of speed is distance by time. So distance is a physical quantity that can be measured by using meter or something. Length, it is a length. Time is also a physical quantity. So the speed is also a quantity, but it comes under the secondary category, means the derived quantities. So first, fundamental quantity. The physical quantities are not two types, that are fundamental and derived. The fundamental quantities and the physical quantities which are independent of all other quantities and do not require the help of any other physical quantity for their definition. Means it cannot be derived from any other quantities. That is the definition. The physical quantities which are independent of all other quantities and do not require the help of any other physical quantity for their definition. Such quantities are called fundamental quantities. Their examples: mass, length, time, electric current, temperature, luminous intensity, and amount of substance. These quantities are not possible to derive from any other quantity. Such quantities are called the fundamental quantities. Then derived quantities. I already told the quantities that can be derived from the fundamental quantities, or using the fundamental quantities we can define the derived quantities. Like that, I already told speed. Speed can be derived from distance and time. So distance is a fundamental quantity and time is also a fundamental quantity. Okay, then all other physical quantities can be derived by suitable multiplication or division of different powers of fundamental quantities. These are therefore called derived quantities. Okay, so all other quantities are derived ones because it can be derived by using that fundamental quantities. Is it clear? The derived quantities are the quantities which can be derived by using the fundamental quantities. Okay, clear? Okay, then length is a fundamental quantity. We can consider length is a fundamental quantity. Area and volume, that are not the fundamental quantity, because area is equal to length into breadth. Length is measured using a scale, and also the breadth also measured by using a scale. Breadth is also considered to be the length. That's also length. So area can be measured by using two lengths. And volume is equal to length into breadth into thickness. So it can be measured by using three lengths, length into length into length. So that is, the area and volume can be expressed by the power 2 and 3, expressed in terms of length with the power 2 and 3. Okay, so this area and volume are the derived quantities. Clear? Then we are going for the measurement. What is measurement? Measurement. If I say 2, what do you understand? Is it any quantity? It's just a magnitude. 2, 3, 5. You couldn't understand what is it. But I say 2 meter. Then what do you understand? It is length. 2 kilogram. You understand it as mass. Okay. Likewise, 2 ampere. It is current. So measurement is such a thing. That is, the measurement of a physical quantity is the process of comparing this quantity with a standard amount of physical quantity of the same kind. Okay, we are comparing that with something, the magnitude with something. So I compared that with the length, meter. It's a unit of length. So 2 meter means it is 2 meter length. Okay, so the measurement of a physical quantity is the process of comparing this quantity with a standard amount of the physical quantity of the same kind, that is called unit. So we are comparing a quantity with the unit, with their standard unit. So that is called measurement. Okay, so for measuring a quantity, we need two things. That is, first one I already told, that is the unit in which the quantity is measured. At which unit we are going to measure that quantity. So that is the first thing. And second one, the numerical value. The 2 is a numerical value. The numerical value or the magnitude of the quantity, that is the number of times that unit is contained in the given physical quantity. If I say 2 meter square, what do you understand? It is area. Okay, there is 2 times meter comes. So length. So it is area. Likewise, So there is a numerical value is needed and also a unit is needed for a measurement. Okay, so just I can express that in one way, that is the physical quantity. The quantity Q I define, that is the magnitude into unit. So magnitude plus a unit, that shows a physical quantity. Then length of the room, one example is that length of room is 5 meter and that 5 also expressed as 500 centimeter. Okay, 5 meter is equal to 500 centimeter. So clearly we can show that the size of the unit, the larger is the numerical value. The smaller the size of the unit, the larger the numerical value. Size reduce ആകുന്ന സമയത്ത് എന്ത് കൂടുതലായിരിക്കും? അതിൻ്റെ ആ ഒരു numerical value greater ആയിരിക്കും. Okay, clear. The smaller the size of the unit, the larger is the numerical value associated with the physical quantity. Okay, then we are assuming that the numerical value is small letter n and is inversely proportional to the unit. It is inversely proportional to that unit. So I can say that nu is equal to a constant, or n is proportional to 1 by u. Nu is equal to a constant or it is proportional to 1 by u, that n is proportional to 1 by u. Or if n1 and m2 are the numerical values for the physical quantity q, then the corresponding to the unit 1 and unit 2, then that is equal to n1 u1 equal to n2 u2 equal to a constant. Look here, 5 meter is equal to 500 centimeter, whatever it may be, that's a constant one. Okay, so that's why they put q equal to n1 u1 equal to n2 u2 equal to a constant. Centimeter is also a unit of length and meter is also a unit of length. Okay. Our next topic, physical units. A physical unit is the standard amount of a physical quantity chosen to measure the physical quantity of the same kind is called physical unit. There is a standardization. Okay, the amount of physical quantity, the standard amount of physical quantities means a standard one. For example, 1 meter scale is there. So that 1 meter scale is same in India and also same in America and also same in everywhere. That is the standardization. Here 1 meter is equal to this one. It is not possible. Okay, 1 meter means that is the length. That is always the same in every world. Okay, then there are some characteristics for the physical quantities. Means the first one, it should be well defined. Means we want to define what is 1 meter. That we can see in next topics. What is 1 kilogram? That we want to define. Then only it is possible for a standardization. So the unit should be well defined. The physical unit is a well defined one. And the next one, it should be convenient size, that is neither too small nor too large. Means it should be a convenient size. It should not be small or it should not be very large. It should be a convenient one. If a 1 meter, we are describing 1 meter is from here to Tavanur or here to any other place. So that is not possible. It is very large one. Okay, so it should be a convenient size. So it should not be too small and it should not be too large comparing with the measurable physical quantities. Okay, and the third one, it should not change with the time. It should not change with time. Today I bought a 1 meter scale and yesterday also I bought 1 meter scale, and if there is any difference in the length means it is not convenient one or it is changing. So that is not possible. If 1 meter means it should be 1 meter in all the day and the length should be the same. Okay, so like that it should not change with the time. And it should be easily reproducible. Means we want to reproduce it. If 1 meter scale, it cannot be reproduced again. It is not okay. So we want to make the same in any time. Okay, so that is, it should be easily reproducible, and it should not be affected by the change in physical condition such as pressure, temperature, etc. Means if the temperature changes, the length also changes. It is not okay. So it should be same. If whether the conditions are changes, then the physical quantities or the unit should be the same. The units of that physical quantity should be the same. 1 meter means it should be the 1 meter. Okay, so it should not be affected by the change in physical conditions such as pressure, temperature, etc. Okay, clear? And the next one, it should be internationally acceptable. Okay, here we are using 1 meter as like this. It is not okay. Okay, 1 meter should be 1 meter in any place. So it is internationally acceptable. The unit should be, the physical unit should be internationally acceptable, and it should be easily accessible. It should be easily accessible. We want to access it easily. Okay, that are the conditions for a physical unit, the characteristics of a physical unit. Okay, then we can move for the next topic, that is I already told there are 2 types of units, that are fundamental and derived units. Just simply we can say that the unit of a fundamental quantity is called fundamental units, and the unit of a derived quantity is called derived unit. Okay, simply we can say like that. Okay, then we can look at this. Fundamental unit, the physical unit which can be neither be derived from one another nor they can be further resolved into simpler units, are called fundamental units. The physical which can be neither be derived from one another. It can be derived, means meter. It's a unit of length. Is it possible to derive that unit from any other place, or you're using any other units? No, it is not okay. And nor they can be further resolved into simpler units. Is it possible to reduce that meter into simpler one? You will say it is centimeter. That's not okay. The common unit, it is meter. Okay, so it is not possible to reduce that. Centimeter is the smaller unit, but it is not mean like that. The standard unit of length is meter. Okay, so the fundamental units is the physical unit which can neither be derived from one another nor they can be further resolved into simpler units, are called the fundamental units. Okay, is it okay? Then the unit of fundamental quantities such as mass, length, etc. are the fundamental units. Already we discussed that mass is a fundamental quantity, length is also a fundamental quantity. So the units of that are called the fundamental units. And the derived units, all other physical units which can be expressed in terms of the fundamental units. We can express the derived units in terms of our fundamental units. Such units are called the derived units. Means it is derived from the fundamental units. Okay, the unit, all other physical units which can be expressed in terms of fundamental units, that are called the derived units. That we call it as derived unit. Okay, let us consider the unit of speed. For an example, the derived unit. We know that speed is equal to distance traveled by time taken. Distance by time. So the unit of speed is equal to unit of distance by unit of time. Is it okay? The unit of distance is length, so its unit is meter, and unit of time, second, so it is meter per second. The unit is meter per second. So meter per second is a derived unit as it has been expressed in fundamental unit of length and time. This is just an example. Meter per second. It's the unit of speed, and velocity also the same thing. Displacement by time, meter per second. So it is the derived unit. It is the example for the derived unit. Okay, clear? Next topic, system of units. System of units. There are many systems previously used for measurements. Okay, that we can discuss. System of units. A complete set of unit which is used to measure all kind of fundamental and derived quantities are called the system of units. Means we are using some units for the measurements. Such units includes under the system of units. Okay, now we are using an SI system. System International D units. That is called SI system. Previously there are many systems that we can discuss. Some commonly used system of units that are, first one, CGS system. Centimeter, gram, second system. Centimeter is the unit of length. Gram is the unit of mass. And second is the unit of time. Likewise, they considered, and that system is called the CGS system. Centimeter, gram, second system. Okay, it was set up in France. It's set up in France, and it based on the centimeter, gram and second as the fundamental units of length, mass and time respectively. Okay, now we are not using this system. This is the system which previously used. And next one, FPS system. Foot, pound, second system. It's a British system. Foot, pound, second system. And for the length measurement they used foot, and for the pound they used for the measurement of mass they used pound, and the measurement of time the second itself. Okay, so such system is called the FPS system. Foot, pound, second system. And another one, that is MKS system. Meter, kilogram, second. Meter, kilogram, second system. Unit of length, meter. Unit of mass, kilogram. Unit of time, second. So this is the third one. These systems are what we previously used. Now we are using a new system that is called SI system. System International D units. System Internationally D units. The international system of units, or we can say that it is the international system of units, or system internationally D units. That is the abbreviation. Okay, so which is also French equivalent ana. It's a French system ana. Means it is an extension of this MKS system. MKS system or extension ana. That's an extension for the MKS system. Okay, then the SA system is an extension for the CGS and MKS system, and it is universally accepted one. It means it is the system which was adopted in 1960 by the 11th General Conference of the Weights and Measures. Okay, and it covers all branches of science and technology. It covers all branches of science and technology. Okay, based on this SA system, there are basically 7 fundamental units and 2 supplementary units are there. Okay, what are they? We can look. So here, length, it is a physical quantity. It's the basic physical quantity, and its unit is meter. Meter, length, its unit meter, and we symbolize it as small letter m. Small letter m is the symbol. Okay, length, meter, and the symbol is small letter m. And likewise, mass, it is a basic quantity and its unit is kilogram. and it is denoted as kg, small letter k and g, kg. And next time, basic unit second, and its symbol is a small letter s. And next one, temperature, its unit Kelvin and symbol K, capital K. And the fifth one, electric current, and its unit ampere, unit is ampere and denoted as capital A, capital letter A. And luminous intensity, just think about the intensity, luminous intensity, and its unit is candela, it's denoted by small letter CD. And the amount of substance, and its unit is mole, 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 its unit. And its symbol is also mole, it is MOL, mole, its symbol is MOL, mole. Okay, that are the 7 quantities. This is just a repetition. Electric current, that's a repeated one. So there are 7 physical quantities that are length, mass, time, temperature, electric current, luminous intensity, and the amount of substance. So their units are, for length meter, mass kilogram, time second, temperature Kelvin, electric current ampere, luminous intensity candela, and the amount of substance mole. Okay, likewise you want to study. Okay, and apart from this 7 units, basic fundamental units, there are 2 supplementary units and their supplementary quantities. That the supplementary quantities are plane angle and the solid angle, and its units is radian and the steradian. Plane angle and the solid angle, the unit of plane angle radian, and it is denoted as rad. And the unit, and the second quantity, it is solid angle, and it is unit is steradian, and it is denoted as SR. Okay, then these are the fundamental quantities, 7 fundamental quantities. And we can define it. I already told there are some definitions. We want to define. First, in the case of the physical units, there is the first sentence. It should be well defined. So these are the definition. So we can see that first one, meter. Meter is the SI unit of length. It is the SI unit of length. 1 meter is defined as, the length of the path traveled by light. Length of the path traveled by light in vacuum during a time interval of 1/29 core 97,92,458. 1/29 crore 97,92,458 of a second. Okay, that is the definition. It is the SI unit of length. Meter is the SI unit of length. 1 meter is defined as the length of the path traveled by light in vacuum during a time interval of 1/29 crore 97,92,458 of a second. Okay, that is the definition for meter. And kilogram, it is also the SI unit and SI unit of mass. So kilogram is the SI unit of mass. 1 kilogram is the mass of a prototype cylinder. Prototype cylinder, it is a model. There is a model, that prototype cylinder, and it's made up of platinum and iridium. Platinum and iridium are 2 metals, and it's an alloy. That cylinder is made with that 2, that is, the cylinder is made up of the alloy of this platinum and the iridium. Okay, and whose weight is equal to its diameter, and the weight is equal to its diameter ആണ്, and the is preserved at the International Bureau of Weights and Measures at Sèvres near Paris. Okay, that prototype is located at where? It is the International Bureau of Weights and Measures at Sèvres near Paris. Okay, and the same model will be here in India also. Okay, so this is the definition for the kilogram. Means it is the SI unit of mass. 1 kilogram is mass is the prototype cylinder, is the mass of the prototype cylinder of platinum iridium alloy whose weight is equal to its diameter, and preserved at the International Bureau of Weights and Measures at Sèvres, Paris. At Sèvres near Paris. Okay, clear? And next one, second. It's the unit of time. 1 second is the duration of how much it is? 919 crore 26 lakh 31,770 periods of the radiations corresponding to the transition between two hyperfine levels of ground state of cesium-133 atom. You can look this number 9192631770 periods of the radiations corresponds to the transition between two hyperfine levels of ground state of cesium atom. Okay, you can consider the energy levels 1, 2, 3 like that. So if the energy is transferring from one level to another level, so we are considering that at that case there are the periodic one, means periodically the transfer will occur. So that duration 1 second is considered to be the duration of this much period of the cesium-133 atoms. Okay, the radiations of this much amount 9192631770 periods of the the radiations of the cesium-133 atom. Okay, then the next one, ampere, is the unit of electric current. 1 ampere is the constant current which, if maintained in two straight parallel conductors of infinite length, if we are considering two parallel conductors of infinite length, infinite means any length, okay, infinite length, and if we put them in 1 meter apart, if we put them in 1 meter apart, so and vacuum, we consider it to be in vacuum, so there should be a force, there should be a force of attraction or force of repulsion. So that force is equal to 2 into 10 raised to minus 7 Newton per meter of length. So that quantity is called ampere. It is the 1 ampere is the constant current which, if maintained in two straight parallel conductors of infinite length of negligible cross sections, there is no area is not considered, and placed 1 meter apart in vacuum, would produce between these conductors a force equal to 2 into 10 raised to minus 7 Newton per meter, and there is a force between that 2 into 10 raised to minus 7 Newton. That amount is considered as ampere. There is a transition, that amount is considered to be 1 ampere. And the next one, Kelvin. It is the SI unit of temperature. So 1 Kelvin is the fraction of 1 by 273.16 of thermodynamic temperature of triple point of water. What is the triple point of water? Means at that point the temperature of water, ice and evaporated one, evaporated or vapor. Vapor or coexist means that should be the same. That is the triple point temperature. Okay, that the temperature at which ice, water and water vapor coexist means the same. So that condition is said to be Kelvin. Is the SI unit of temperature. 1 Kelvin is the fraction of 1 by 273.16 of the thermodynamic temperature of the triple point of water. The triple point of water is the temperature at which ice, water and water vapor coexist. Okay, then next one, candela. It is the SI unit of luminous intensity. Luminous intensity is the SI unit of luminous intensity. One candela is the luminous intensity in given direction of source that emits monochromatic radiation. What is monochromatic radiations? Monochromatic means one direction. There is only the one direction and the same wavelength. Okay, such a light can be called as monochromatic one. So monochromatic radiations of the frequency 540 into 10 raised to 12 hertz and that has a radiant intensity 1 by 683 watt per steradian in direction. That's just a definition. Just you want to consider that only. Okay, you just understand what is the unit and its definitions only I am telling. Okay. So it is the SI unit of luminous intensity. One candela is the luminous intensity in a given direction of source that emits monochromatic radiation of frequency 540 into 10 raised to 12 hertz and that has a radiant intensity of 1 by 683 watts per steradian in that direction. Okay, and the next one is mole. The last one, it is the unit of amount of a substance which contains as many elementary entities as there are atoms in 0.012 kg of carbon-12 isotope. The entities may be atoms, molecules, ions, etc. That is it is the amount of a substance which contains, one mole is the amount of substance which contains as many elementary entities. As many elementary entities, there are atoms in 0.012 kg of carbon atom. Carbon atomiലുള്ള entities amount of 0.012 kg carbon 12 isotope entities that we called it as 1 mole. That entities is considered to be 1 mole. 0.012 kg of carbon 12 isotope entities 1 mole. Okay. Apart from this, we already learned that there are 2 supplementary units. That also we want to define. Okay. So look this. This is an arc one. This is we consider a circle and it's a small length that is called arc. Okay, and this r is the radius of this one. So radian is defined as the plane angle. It's a unit of plane angle. Plane angle subtended at a center of circle by an arc in length to the radius of the circle. Simply arc by radius, that is called radian. Okay, plane angle. Plane angle is this one, is the angle. The unit of this is radian. Okay, it is defined as the plane angle subtended at the center of a circle by an arc equal in length to the radius of the circle. Very simply, it is equal to arc by radius. That is called plane angle and its unit is radian. Arc by radius is called plane angle. Here d theta is the plane angle. So ds by r is the plane angle and its unit is radian. It's denoted by rad. Okay, the unit of the plane angle is called radian. Okay, simply plane angle is nothing. It is the arc by radius. It is defined as the ratio of arc to the radius. Likewise, we can say. So, plane angle is defined as the ratio of arc to the radius. Okay, that is d theta is equal to ds by r. So, sometimes it may be represented like a theta also. Theta is equal to L by r. That's also okay. If L is the length of the arc. Okay. Clear? Okay. Plane angle we discussed. Next one is solid angle and its unit is steradian and is denoted by SR. Okay. Just look here. Here we consider a solid one or just like a cone type one. You just imagine that cone ice cream. Inside that we can see a angle, this inside, inner angle, like that. That angle is called solid angle. That angle is called a solid angle. Okay, and simply we can consider that the solid angle is the multiple of two plane angles. Likewise, we can consider, it is not exactly correct, but we can consider like that. Okay, so this angle we consider as the solid angle, and it is defined as the solid angle is defined as the ratio of this area to the square of this radius. Solid angle is defined as the this area, ratio of this area into the square of the radius, that is d ohm is equal to dA by r square, and its unit is called the steradian. And that definition, simply it is defined as the solid angle subtended at the center of the sphere by a surface of the sphere equal in area to that of square having each side equal to the radius of the sphere. Each side is equal to the radius of the sphere. Okay, that is called, this is considered to be a square. That's the term square. So that area is considered to be dA and radius r. Okay, that's by the definition. Okay, so the definition of the plane angle is what? It is the ratio of arc to the radius, and that of the solid angle, it is the ratio of the area to the square of the radius. Clear? And the unit of the plane angle is radian and the unit of the solid angle is steradian. Clear? Okay. The next topic, advantages of SI units. So here for the advantages, for the first one, it is a coherent system of units. Because previously we used many types of units like MKS, FPS. There is only the fundamental one, MKS, and 3 units only. So here we have 7 units. By using that we can derive any other units. Okay, so that's the basic one. It is coherent system of units. All derived unit can be obtained by simple multiplication or division of the fundamental units without introducing any numerical factors. We don't want to introduce any other numerical factors. So it is called a coherent one. And it is a rational system. It is a rational system of units. That is, it uses only one unit for a given physical quantity. That's why it is called a rational one. Means it uses only one unit for one physical quantity. For example, for all of energy are measured in joule. Energy is measured in joule. On the other hand, in MK system, the mechanical energy is measured in joule and heat energy is calorie and the electrical energy is watt hour. Okay, previously we used to measure the energy, and for the 3 purpose we are using 3 units. But now we are only using the joule for measuring the energy. That why it is called, it is a rational system. Okay, it's only one unit for given physical quantity. Energy, kinetic energy, potential energy, whatever the energy, we are using the unit as joule. Okay. Then it is a metric system. What is mean by metric system? The multiples and submultiples of SI unit can be expressed as powers of 10. We can express the SI unit in the powers of 10. We can represent that in a powers of 10. That's why it is called the metric system. And it is an absolute system of units. SI system is an absolute system of units, because what? It does not use gravitational units. Previously, for the gravitational units, G is used. G is considered to be a unit. So it is an absolute system. There is no use of this gravitational units. The use of G is not required. So there is no need of G's. Okay, that's why it is called an absolute system. It is internationally accepted system of units that we already discussed. Okay, that are the advantages. What are they? First one, it is coherent system of unit, and the second one, the rational system of units, and the third one, it is metric system, and the fourth one, it is an absolute system, and finally the last one, it is an internationally accepted one. Clear? Okay, then we learned about the units and measurements, everything. So now we are going to discuss how we are writing a unit. Okay, or a symbol for the unit. So what are the procedure or guidelines for writing a unit and symbols? Units and symbols. So the rules, what are the rules? The first one, small letters are used for symbols of units. Basically, we are using the small letters for representing the symbols. Okay, that's why for the length we represent it as meter and it is denoted as M. Okay, so small letters are used for symbols of units. And the next one, symbols are not followed by full stop. We are not using any full stop. Symbols are not followed by a full stop. Okay, there is no need of a full stop. And initial letter of the symbol is capital only when the unit is named after a scientist. We are using the capital letters also. Then when we will use it, if we use a symbol in terms of the name of a scientist. Okay, initial letters of the symbols in capital only when we use the name after a scientist. Okay, ampere, A is capital. So that is the ampere is the name of a scientist. Then the full name of a unit always begins with a small letter. So meter, if we are writing meter, we want to use the complete small letters. Okay, sometimes we use it as capital letter M, but if it is considered to be a unit, then it is started with small letter M. A full name of a unit is always begins with a small letter, even if it has been named after a scientist. Ampere is also written as AM. A is small. Okay, ampere. If you are writing that full name, symbols for the scientist, if it is followed by a scientist, then it is A, capital. So likewise we can consider. And the symbols do not take plural form. There should not be any plural forms. Okay, these are the rules for writing the SI units. That is, small letters are used for units, used for symbols of unit. Symbols are not followed by full stop. And third one, the initial letter of the symbol is capital only when the unit is named after a scientist. And the full name of a unit is always with a small letter, even it has been named after a scientist, and symbol do not take plural form. Okay, these are the rules. Clear? And the next topic, abbreviation is powers of 10. I already told that we can represent the symbol or the sign SI system in powers. So like that, we can represent the numbers like a powers of 10. When the magnitude of the physical quantities are very large or very small, it is convenient to express them in multiples or submultiples of the SI unit in a prefix used for powers of 10. Okay, that list we can see here. These are some examples. We know kilo is 10 raised to 3. Likewise, just look at here. Multiple 10 raised to 1 is called deca. Deca, and its symbol is Da. 10 raised to 2 hecto. Its symbol is H. And 10 raised to 3 kilo. Its symbol is K. And 10 raised to 6 mega. Its symbol is M. And 10 raised to 9 giga. Its symbol is capital G. And 10 raised to 12 tera. Its symbol is capital T. And 10 raised to 15 peta. Its symbol is capital P. And 10 raised to 18 exa. Its symbol is E. And these are the larger powers, and there are some smallest powers also. 10 raised to minus 1 deci, D, small letter D. 10 raised to minus 2 cendi, C, small letter C. 10 raised to minus 3 milli, M. 10 raised to minus 6 micro, this is the symbol micro, mu is the symbol. 10 raised to minus 9 nano, small letter N. 10 raised to minus 12 pico, P. 10 raised to minus 15 femto, F. Fermi, like that, Fermi. And 10 raised to minus 18 atto, A. Okay, this we want to study. We want to use the symbols in many places. Okay, if some quantities will come as centimeter, we want to convert into meter, then we want to use it as 10 raised to minus 2. Okay, likewise. So these are the prefixes for the powers of 10. Just look here again. 10 raised to 1 deca, Da. 10 raised to 2 hecto, hexa. 10 raised to 3 kilo, K. 10 raised to 6 mega, M. 10 raised to 9 giga, G. 10 raised to 12 tera, T. 10 raised to 15 peta, P. 10 raised to 18 exa, E. And the smallest ones, that are 10 raised to minus 1 deci, D. 10 raised to minus 2 cendi, C. 10 raised to minus 3 milli, M. 10 raised to minus 6 micro, mu. 10 raised to minus 9 nano, M. 10 raised to minus 12 pico, P. 10 raised to minus 15 femto, F. 10 raised to minus 18 atto, A. Okay, that are the prefixes for the powers of 10. Okay, and we discussed about the units, measurements, everything. So practically we are using some other units that we are going to discuss. We already seen that 10 raised to minus 15, it is femto. So here we use in meter like that. So it is called Fermi. Fermi. It is the small practical unit of distance used for measuring a nuclear size. It is also called femtometer. Fermi. So 1 Fermi is equal to 1 FM, that is equal to 10 raised to minus 15 meter. 1 Fermi is equal to 10 raised to minus 15 meter. So the radius of proton is 1.2 Fermi. So 1.2 into 10 raised to minus 15 meter. That we want to understand. Okay. Another unit is angstrom. Angstrom. So it is used to represent the wavelength of lights, anything. So it's 1 Armstrong is equal to 10 raised to minus 10 meter. 1 Armstrong is equal to 10 raised to minus 10 meter, or it is 10 raised to minus 8 centimeter. Okay, and another unit, it's nanometer. That's also used for representing the wavelength. So 1 nanometer is equal to 10 raised to minus 9 meter. And micron or micrometer. Micron, it is the unit of distance defined as micrometer. So it is 10 raised to minus 6 meter. 1 micrometer is equal to 10 raised to minus 6 meter. These are the smallest units for measurements of length. So large distance, there are some another units we are using for the measuring the large distance. The first one, it is light year. Light year is the distance traveled by the light in vacuum in 1 year. It is the distance traveled by light in vacuum in 1 year. Okay, so that is one more thing also we can add, with a speed of 3 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second, because the speed of light in vacuum is 3 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second. So 1 light year is equal to speed of light in vacuum into 1 year. We want to multiply it with a 1 year. Speed of light in vacuum into 1 year. So that is 3 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second into 365.25, or simply we can say that it is 365. Okay, 1 year considered to be 365. This is the exact one, 365.25 into 24 means how many hours? 24. So in day there is 24 hours. So 365.25 into 24. Then we want to convert that year into seconds, into 60 into 60. Likewise, 3 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second into 3 into 10, 365.25 into 24 into 60 into 60. Why there is a 24 into 60 into 60? Because we are converting 1 year into second. 1 year is equal to 365 days and 1 day is equal to 24 hours. 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes. 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds. Likewise, we are converting that into second. So from that we will get 1 light year is equal to 9.467 into 10 raised to 15 meter. You want to remember these numbers. 1 light year is equal to 9.467 into 10 raised to 15 meter. Okay, so basically this unit is used for the astronomical measurements. Okay, astronomical measurements. Light year is used in astronomy to measure the distance of nearby stars. Alpha Centauri, the nearest star outside the solar system, and it is to be 4.3 light years away from the earth. If we are measuring the nearest star from our earth, it is also 4.3 light years. Okay, the nearest star outside the solar system is 4.3 light year away from the earth. You can imagine that distance. Okay, so we want to multiply that 4.3 into 9.467 into 10 raised to 15 meter, then only we will get that in meters. So it is a huge number. Okay, and astronomical units, AU, astronomical unit. It's also used for astronomical purpose, and it is defined as the mean distance of the earth from sun. It is measured in astronomy to measure the distance of planets. So 1 AU is equal to, astronomical unit is equal to 1.496 into 10 raised to 11 meter. You want to remember this number also. 1 astronomical unit is equal to 1.496 into 10 raised to 11 meter. Okay, then the very large one, it is called the parsec. Parsec, parallactic second. That's abbreviated as parsec. So it is the largest practical units of distance and used in astronomy. Okay, it is defined as the distance at which an arc of length, 1 astronomical unit, subtends an angle of 1 second of the arc. Means if we consider a 1 arc, 1 astronomical unit, length of 1 astronomical units, means 1 meter or something like that. 1, and its radius or the angle is subtends to 1 second. Okay, then From that, we can consider that it is theta is equal to L by R. Means arc by radius. That's the angle relation. That is theta is equal to L by R. From that, that radius is equal to L by theta. That is, here we can say that this length, that length, means arc length is considered to be 1 meter or something. So that arc length is 1. So it is 1 by theta. That is, angle is suspended to be 1 second. So this theta is also 1. So 1 by 1 astronomical unit by 1. Okay, that is 1 unit, it's maybe 1 meter, 1 unit, everything. For the astronomy case, we consider it to be astronomical unit. So 1 astronomical, L is equal to 1 astronomical unit and theta equal to 1 second. Then the parsec is equal to 1 astronomical unit divided by 1 second. So this second we want to convert into radian. That I will tell how we are converting that. That I will tell in another section, or I will say after some times. Okay, just look here. 1 parsec is equal to 1 AU by 1 second. That is equal to, this 2 line indicates that it is second. If it is 1 line, then it is minute. If it is a small 0 like that, it is degree. Okay, so 1 AU is equal to 1.49496 into 10 raised to 11 meter, that we put, by 1 by 3600. How it come, that I will tell. So into pi by 180 radian. So that's approximately equal to 3.08 into 10 raised to 16 meters. So 1 parsec is equal to 3.08 into 10 raised to 16 meter. Okay, this I will tell how you will get this value like this. Okay, that I will tell. Okay, so the definition, you can see that it is defined as the distance at which an arc of length 1 astronomical unit subtends an angle of 1 arc second. Means 1 unit. If we consider this like a 1 length, we consider a 1 length and 1 unit length, that is 1 point something, anything. So its angle is only 1 second. If an object is traveling from one point to another point, it covers that 1 astronomical unit, and someone is looking from a center or any point, there makes an angle 1 second. So that is said to be 1 parsec. That is 1 AU by 1 second is considered to be 1 parsec. So 1 parsec is approximately 3.08 into 10 raised to 16 meter, and that is equal to 3.26 light year. Okay, 3.26 light year. Clear? Then there are another practical units of measuring areas. Okay, area measurements. First one, BAM. BAM is equal to 10 raised to minus 28 meter square. It is used for very small areas such as nuclear cross sections. Okay, it is used for the measuring the nuclear cross section, and its value is 1 BAM is equal to 10 raised to minus 28 meter square. It is for measuring the area. Okay, then RK. That's also, it is also the measurement of large area. Then it is 1 RK is equal to 4047 meter square. And hectare, that's also used for measuring the area, that is, which is equal to 10 raised to 4 meter square. Okay, 10 raised to 4 meter square. Then as the practical units used for measuring the large masses, 1 ton, that is equal to 1 metric ton. It is 1000 kg. You know that it is 1 ton is equal to 1000 kg. This all you know. Okay, 1 quintal, it is 100 kg. 1 slag, it is 14.57 kg. These are some conversions you want to know it. 1 slag is equal to 14.57 and 1 pound is equal to 1 LB, that is the representation, which is equal to 0.4536 kilogram. 0.4536 kilogram. And 1 Chandrasekhar limit, it's a very large unit, 1 CSL, that is equal to 1.4 times of the mass of the sun. So it is a larger practical unit of mass. It is a larger practical unit. So it is 1.4 times of the mass of the sun. Sunnekal 1.4 times കൂടുതലാണ്. Then next the practical units of very small mass. Astronomical mass unit. A small unit, it is AMU, that is equal to 1 U, that is equal to 1.66 into 10 raised to minus 27 kg. So it is defined as the 12th of the mass of the carbon 12 atom. It is defined as the 12th, 1 by 12th of the mass of the carbon 12 atom. Okay, one astronomical unit is equal to 1 by 12th of the mass of the carbon 12 atom. That is 1 AMU is equal to 1.66 into 10 raised to minus 27 kg. So, okay, the mass of the proton or a neutron is of the order of 1 AMU. Okay, then the practical units for measuring the time measurements. Solar day. Solar day means it is the time taken by the earth to complete one rotation about its own axis. One solar day. It is the time taken by earth to complete one rotation about its own axis with respect to the sun. Okay, and then solar year. It is the time taken by earth to complete one revolution around the sun in its own orbits. One solar year is equal to 1 year average solar day, that is 365.25. Okay, then tropical year, the year in which there is total solar eclipse is called tropical year. The year in which there is total solar eclipse. You know the idea about eclipse. Okay, so the year in which there is a total solar eclipse is called the tropical year. Then leap year. It is the year which is divisible by 4 and in which the month of February has 29 days is called the leap year. Okay, lunar month. It is nothing but the day is 27.3 days. It is the time taken by moon to complete one revolution around the earth in its own orbit. That is 1 lunar day is equal to, 1 lunar month is equal to 27.3. Shake. It is the very smallest practical unit of time. 1 shake is equal to 10 raised to minus 8 seconds. Okay. Then some practical units for measuring the pressure. Practical units for measuring pressure. 1 bar, which is equal to 1 atmospheric pressure, that's equal to 10 raised to 5 Newton per meter square. That is equal to 10 raised to 5 Pascal. 10 raised to 5 Pascal. 1 millibar, 10 raised to 2 Pascal. 1 torr, 1 millimeter of mercury column. 1 millimeter of mercury column. The height of 1 millimeter of mercury column is called 1 torr. And 1 atmospheric pressure, which is equal to 1 bar, that is equal to 760 millimeter of height mercury column. That's equal to 760 torr. That's equal to 760 torr. Okay. Then order of magnitude means we want to represent some things in scientifically. We are doing the thing like this. We are representing the scientific way that a number can be represented with the multiple of any numbers. Okay, means any number into the power of the order. Okay, like that means if we determine the magnitude of a number n, we first express it as n into small n into x. This n may be any value, that may be less than 1 or up to 9 we can use. The scientific notation we are using it as up to 9. Then only we are telling the powers. Okay, so then x will be the order of the magnitude of n. Okay, we can check here. 8. We can represent 8 as itself. But if we want to get the order, then we want to represent this is the power, that is 0.8. into 10 raised to 1, then the order is 1. 49, we can represent 0.49, then the order is 2. And if I represent it as 0.9 into 10 raised to 1, then the order is 1. 52, 0.52 into 10 raised to 2, then the order is 2. Then 555, I can represent any way. I represent it as 0.555 into 10 raised to 3. Then it is 3. This value and this value, if it is multiplied by 1000, the same will get. Okay. 999, 0.99 into 10 raised to 3, then the order is 9. Likewise, we can do. Okay. Okay. Clear? So, just consider what are the things. Units, how we are measuring that units, and then some orders, practical units we learned. Okay, these are the things we studied now. Okay, I hope that you have a clear idea about this. Okay, thank you.